What's up, everybody? So, today I wanted us to take a little inside look into the production behind my song, Mercury.
Only fools build shelter on a bed of lies.
Love how this song turned out. But man, this one was a huge wrestle in relation to the rest of the songs on this project. Like every other track, I was pretty confident in the direction. I was programming drums pretty early on. I just knew the vibe and the energy that I wanted. But this one, man, I, for the longest time, uh, was just kind of in a rut. I was stuck on two main themes, and I just was so nervous of what to do. Um, like this piano theme was everything. Yeah, I just fell in love with that thing. Um, it was really kind of dainty and bouncy, had this kind of frolic nature to it, and still kind of moody and haunting in a way. And then the other thing, I love the bounce to piano. Was this Moog, one of the Moogs of Mercury. Just a basic, real buzzy Moog. I'll let it play through the chorus here. Those chords were so cool, and I think they were just melodic enough in and of themselves that they didn't need much more support. Just let the blocks do their thing, and I just thought it was a cool vibe. Um, like I'll show you, I have the demo here. I'll just kind of punch in at chorus two. This is like how fleshed out things were.
Only fools build shelter on a bed of lies. In heaven.
Pretty basic. Like I had the bones of the song out. I'm just kind of taking you through the sequence of how ideas transpired. I just was in such a rut with what to do with the drum energy. It's like it's really pretty. Do I want to just go crazy and kind of ruin a pretty song, or do I want to make it like really fun and interesting? And what do you do when you're in a rut? You call your friend John Paul Gentili. Everybody needs a friend named John Paul Gentili. Yeah, I called JP and I just was like, man, I'm sending you a bunch of art and quotes and things that are just inspiring me for this whole project, and just do with it what you will, and just see what happens. And he came up with such killer ideas, just pulsing with the piano in the best way, and really just kind of uh, complex kind of rhythm stuff, and laid into the diamonds on the chorus really nicely. Um, I sent it to Peyton Hilliard, who cut drums on all the songs on this project, and man, he crushed it. By the way, and he loved the direction and just leaned into it, and it was just fantastic. I mean, let me. It's one of my favorite reintros. But what he did in this verse, and he left space, because the whole time I was like, I think we need to keep pulsing with the piano, is what I had in my head. And when I heard him leave it space there, I was like, shoot. That's really cool because he's actually serving the piano really well. Um, let's just bring keys, bass, and I wanted to take the low end out of this verse when I heard him do all that space. Bass is gone, piano's pulsing. Little staccato kind of stuff from the bass. Little bass chords. Always cool. See, and I just was like, it's so cool that you can serve the pulse of the piano without just doing quarter note kicks or something. So happy with that. And then, of course, Scotty has his plucks. Nice and pokey pokes, pokey plucks. Um, which I was trying to save Scotty's guitars for the end because they're the best part. Um, my brain. I am just jumping around this whole song. That's how it works. But what's funny about that though is, I feel like the fact that this song has so many just odd scene changes in it kind of made that a part of its identity was the fact that it is just kind of changing. Which at first I was like, man, this is really inconsistent. Um, but I think I was able to just put some through lines in through the song, so it kind of feels like one idea. But I mean, seriously, it's like moody, moody intro, kind of intense and moody verse again, and then just hits you hard in the chorus. Then you're dancing. Then you're grooving. Jamming out. Then you're going crazy. And then drop off. Now you're chilling out. Just so many scene changes every section. But there was something to it that was cool. So I'll kind of walk us through the beginning. I mean, the first thing is just this intro. Now that I've got sort of the context out of the way, this was a cool thing that I wanted to start and end the track the same way. You'll notice that that same soundscape comes in. Those are more sparklies later, sorry. Yeah, that same soundscape comes in there, and to me it's just kind of like a microcosm, when something kind of completes a cycle. I just thought, and this is the first song on the record, the EP, so I just thought it would be cool to have at the beginning as like a microcosm of the entire project. Not to say the whole project starts and ends the same way, but it was like, well, if you can kind of create one complete journey around an idea, that's also this beginning of a journey. I just was wanting to do that, and I was tempted to like tie in the soundscape themes later on in the other songs, but just the more I went down that path, I was like, no, it's just not asking for it. But yeah, and I mean, I touched on the bounce, the piano, and the verse. There is some really pretty soundscape stuff, though. Really nice. There's my buzzy buzz. And of course, there's a couple other pads tucked underneath here. Real just kind of warm softies, soft synths. There is, kind of each section has a little bit of layers of soft synths going on here or there. Um, and that chorus one just opens up, kind of hits you hard with everything, which is sweet. Um, let's actually hear some of the, yep, little hits. That was kind of a cool one here. A lot of these stuffs I would kind of just print like a drone of, it could just be a plugin or it could be something I tracked. I'll just get like a drone and automate different plugin. Like I did some Alter Boy automation where I could just pull it up really quick. Where you just take Alter Boy. Oh, now you're hearing the latency of my voice. That's okay. And automate dry to wet, but change the pitch and stuff, and it makes it crazy. That's what I did for that sound there. And a lot for that intro soundscape, by the way, I did something like sort of similar. Like I think that was, I'm trying to jog my memory. It was a Arturia plug called it's a Mellotron plug. It was like a couple like really thin sounding strings kind of layered on top of each other, and then I just cut it up to kind of make it stutter a little bit and pitch bend the wheel, like automate the pitch bend wheel down, up and down, to get little or whatever. That was kind of a cool little bed to me. But man, what one thing though, so the chorus one, just straight up like power chords. I mean, look at the guitars. So, really sweet, of course. But if I jumped to chorus 2, I was like, well, we already kind of leaned into that a lot, so I need something to set it apart. Such a cool little sequence here. This is another Moog of Mercury here. And it's kind of doing this panning thing, kind of spinning around you. And then I also have another layered piano. I'll play the pianos here. So those together, I think, just created enough so cool. Let's get into Guitar World a little bit, because I heard one of my rakes in that chorus, and I was so happy with it. I did that rake, everybody. I mean, Scotty did everything else. That was cool, but I am happy about that rake. I mean, Scotty, man, this was the most wild thing that I was not expecting, because I sent Scotty. I mean, I had the drums dialed and everything else. Actually, don't think I added a lot of like candy and effects stuff or anything. And I was like, I honestly don't know what to expect at all from these guitars. But when I when I heard this, it just was so cool. And it just was like the piano and the guitar were just dancing around each other. I first heard it, I was like overstimulation. Um, but the more I just kind of was able to lose myself in it, the more I heard it. Um, so that was fantastic, and it just Scotty has such a mark on his sound. It's nuts. Yeah, so great, great plucks. And now let's hear the best noodle of all time. I would say it's the most magical noodle that I've heard in a long time. Okay, let's hear it again. What a magical noodle. Some noodles are not that magical, but this one, sat with me. Oh, goodness. I think he does it again. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Back to this really cool, sparkly stuff. Oh, yeah, and then there's this really cool, like, fuzz thing that he brings in. So let's hear drum, bass, and all the guitars. This one right here. So cool. Just Power Town, baby. And I added like some stuff in this chorus too. Some other rakes. That's me, everybody. It's cool. It's cool. And that was kind of setting up the theme. My little. That was setting up the theme of the instrumental, which is my favorite section, everybody. Let's talk about the lead in to this instrumental. First of all, there's one more Moog of Mercury we're going to hear, and that is this insane. I just was wanting to think of like the most crazy thing I could blast somebody with on this instrumental section. Pretty awesome. And that's pretty much all these Moog parts besides the sequence, they're double tracked, so I would find a sound, tweak the patch, play the part, and then I would alter the patch slightly, but kind of keep it the same spirit, and just double track it and hard pan them left, right. But it's a cool spread. And then I had like one of my most favorite reverses of all time. So cool, guys. Sounds like a transformer or something crazy. I don't know. It's definitely been in a Michael Bay movie at some point. And then these guitars are just ramping up as well. So cool. Let's listen to this instrumental real quick with so sick. Drum and bass. That's why you hire Chris Greeley to mix your stuff, guys, because it makes it sound like that. Um, Honestly, it speaks for itself, this section. What's funny to me, I was thinking earlier about through lines, is the pianos. That's, I think, how they served. Because this is chorus two. Really an intense section, even through the instrumental. Oh, yeah. So there's just a lot of daintiness going in that instrumental that I think is kind of funny, but I needed something to have some continuity. And this is just a layer of soft synths happening. Adds a nice kind of sheen to things. A really cheeky pulse here happening, doing some triplets. And then a nice bloom. Nice little bloom sequence. So all nice little abrupt and exit there. And the way the drums fall is so cool. I love that. Scene changes. For this outro, I did this little drone. Just a nice little delay kind of feedback goodie. And the piano is really kind of just nice and warm. And I was originally going to like warble it out and kind of do like a, you know, kind of tape effect and make it sound a little crummy. But I thought instead to kind of hug it. So this is a double tracked bass. Just like bridge, pickup, jazz bass. Played the part twice and hard panned it. And it just kind of hugged the piano quite nicely, I think. Everything. Yeah. And then we have this little thing creep in. And this little swell. Quite lovely. Yeah, I mean, I know that I skipped the heck around this track, but those are some of the goodies. This was fun. I feel like this was one that I had to lean so much on other people, and it just was the most rewarding thing. And what's funny story about Peyton when he actually heard this one I think early on, and he knew that it was going to be a beast. Not because it was difficult to play or whatever, but he just knew that it was going to be really hard to get the right thing, and so he saved this guy for the end. Um, which he was right. I mean, it was not that we did like a lot of rounds or anything, but it was interesting. So thanks guys for sticking around. And we'll chat soon.